you should do this.
Okay, why do you think that?
Because the products are not the variable of success. You got your perspective. I just want to be happy. Don't you want to be happy? Somebody was crying this morning. I was on Twitter. They're like, Instagram not getting the reach anymore. Us artists are getting, can't get as many people seeing it. Now they want us to pay. I replied, I'm like, it's free. I'm like, what do you mean they're taking away your, it's free. They're like, oh, I didn't think about it that way. Here's the biggest thing about that. The only people that are listening to you are other losing players. The only other people that are co-signing your excuses are other losers.
I always think about my future every day. Like I know a lot of people say, oh, don't think so far into the future, but I feel like I have to because I want to see what myself is like 5 to 10 years from now. Like my big problem
being thoughtful about the future is amazing, but not letting it cripple you is the key.
Yeah, because my problem, I would think so further in the future, I would start worrying about stuff. It's stuff that I want to accomplish before I leave this earth years from now that I want to do. Like I always. It's
great to have ambition.
Yeah, that's one.
But if you cast too much judgment on yourself on a day-to-day on how you're reaching that ambition, you're going to cripple yourself. The fact that you understand that that is your perspective means you're on the cusp of fixing it. Only thing that I've ever seen really work in this scenario where your DNA and your experiences has made you look half glass full, pessimistic versus optimistically blind, is to fundamentally surround yourself with optimistic people. You gotta cut out pessimistic and negativity, and you gotta add on optimism and positivity. It's as simple as that. You guys should be looking around at each other and whoever else isn't here, and like in order, who's the most optimistic and there's a real fine line between delusion and optimism. I'm gonna be in the league, but they're not even practicing. So that's delusion. I'm gonna be in the league, and maybe you don't see it, but you see them at least doing free throws 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. every morning before they go on the bus. You're like, at least he's trying. And the more difficult your circumstances are, the more likely you're around pessimism. My number one piece of advice of leaving here is whoever the most optimistic person is here, become more friendly with them. Straight up.
You taught me about patience, and I know because it took a long time for you to get back to me, but I knew once you got back to me, it was so it was unbelievable. I was like, this man finally got back to me. This is unbelievable. You just taught me like the game and everything you said. I didn't understand it right away. Like I just needed some time to filter through, but once I watched more content, once I understood, I was like, yo, I got this. And that's how we got back here today. So I'm just grateful. I love you, man. That's one of my favorite clips ever. Just like watching we're right there, just your eyes. It's the best, man. It feels so good. It's so real. Like that advice I gave you is real. My belief is that if you're a great drug dealer, you'd be a great businessman. I just believe that because it's the same game. So if you're good at it, or if somebody's good at it, they'd be even better at flipping sneakers or gear or going to the thrift store and flipping because it's the same. And then when you have the freedom of being not scared to get caught, now you're moving fast. Now you're an entrepreneur and everybody thinks, like people putting you on a pedestal. I love them.
Every year since 2016, we've done an excess of 2.5 million. It's gone up each year. But
in top line revenue?
Yes, I think.
Sales?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Just like my questions are gonna maybe seem a little bit basic.
I don't care.
Okay.
I'm basic as. Do you know how many Harvard Business School people have ever built a business doing 2.5 million? A lot less than you think. Okay. So I promise you, you're not basic. Okay. The amount of humans that have walked around that do 2.5 million in sales is low.
Okay, thank you.
I mean it, and the second you understand that, in the same way with him, my organization, like this is real. That's why I'm like pumped. This is why I love like how the world evolved. It's much more for like, that's real.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, my husband's told me that too. He's like, he's my partner, and he's like, you don't get it. Like, and I was like, I feel like we could be doing more. But
well, yeah, that's for sure. But it's not predicated because you didn't go to business school or you don't know the term. I still don't know all the terms.
I said I think an email to Nick the other day. I was like, I have to Google like half the things that Gary says because I don't know what they mean.
You ready for this? I think I Googled them first 7 years ago. like my mom and sister always they're like, where did your vocab come from? I'm like, osmosis.
I love that. Yeah.
You know?
It's repetition. So yeah, so we're doing well on Amazon, but like I think to be completely transparent, like I've stayed in that game because it's
comfortable.
Like it works. Like
Yeah.
honestly, it's working. Like and so I've been.
What's your gut tell you? It's starting to not gonna work soon. Like what's your gut tell you?
That
You're leaving too much on the table?
Yeah, my gut tells me that I'm avoiding actually like pushing myself and like doing something that I'm afraid to do because I'm sticking to like what has proven to be ROI positive.
Yes.
Like is comfortable.
Yes.
And so I'm just like staying in that like safe space of like, well look, like.
Well, do you want to build something that does 7 million?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
My goal this year is to do 10, and I know that's aggressive. Like I get it.
It's not aggressive. It's just arbitrary.
Should I truly believe if I like put my mind into this, I can do our social media, I can learn it, I can get good at it, I can understand it. Like
You should definitely do that.
Well, so let me finish though. Okay.
Okay.
I think I'll ask better questions. Like,
Go ahead.
Hiring someone, I think I'll care more. But is it like, hey, listen, that's ego. Like you need to drop that.
No.
And you need to delegate.
No.
Why do you say that?
Because you need to know what you're talking about. It's your business. I've consistently stayed consistent on this, which is if you don't know the craft, how are you judging the people you're hiring?
You also said here though, in another one of your videos, you're like, hey, you need to have 100 people or something doing 80%. That's better than like just you trying to do 100% by yourself.
That's different.
Contextualize that.
Sure, everything else you're doing, you should give away.
Yeah, and I do.
Good.
I mean, well.
I just contextualized it for you.
But okay, perfect.
How are you gonna find those 7 hours a day to get great at social? You're doing something now, I assume.
I'm not.
Why, because it's on autopilot?
So we have people like not listing it, people packaging.
I got it.
They're receiving different.
So what are you doing?
Nothing. That's why I'm here. Because
Well,
like,
good.
They're gonna like pour myself into adding 1,000 more products in the next like 90 days.
Yep.
Or I'm gonna do this.
You should do this.
Okay. Why do you think that?
Because the products are not the variable of success. The knowledge of understanding how to communicate to the end consumer are. There's nothing more important than being close to the end consumer. Nothing else matters. There's another big thing that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You're gonna make 1,000 way better products after you're done with this. Because you're gonna be in the trenches
Yeah.
and not in a siloed ivory tower. You're gonna have much better intuition on the product.
We're not trying to be Walmart. We have a really awesome, high quality, high design products, and our value proposition is just so much more. But how would you think about this issue?
I think you always have to listen to your customers, but your customers are always gonna say that. Listen and synthesize and make decisions, right? Like, that's why both listening to your customers to develop product is right, and also whoever said, if I listened to my customers, I would've made it faster, horse is right. They both can work. It's big data. People love to talk about big data. Big data is very cute. What you do with the data is what matters. You could stay the course and keep your brand affinity in the right place and win. You could lower your price, and that was exactly right. It was a 10% swing that totally changed the course of your business. You could lower your price by 10%, nothing different happened, and now you've just given up 10% margin and maybe even hurt a little brand equity. They've all worked. Listening, and then the beauty of business. Business is talent. How many of those people have you called? Because I'll tell you what I'm good at, and I don't know you too. It's one thing to read it, it's another thing to hear it. So maybe you take maybe you take 50 of those people and you actually call them. And you put in those 50 hours or those 25 hours on 50 people, and then you say, okay, now I've heard it. They're full of shit about, right? Or I've heard it, there's something, I believe as leadership there's something there. That's it, there's no right.
Yeah.
It's contextual.
Yeah.
But you're listening, which is huge.